Evening, YouTube. I hope the lighting's okay. It seems a little dark. Flash was reflecting quite a bit. Just figured I'd give you a little update on some of the fish I got here. Two nice Oscars in here. I'm gonna move there. See, I got some floating grass in a lot of these tanks, which does block a bit of light. And Placo hanging out under the rock structure there. In here, the red jewel mom and dad with a lot of fry floating around in there with them. Again, I probably should have the light on. It's kind of dark. Then we'll move over to the albino Oscars. The electric blue Jack Dempsey's. A friend of mine, Jeff Nickerson, brought me over his iridescent shark, which I put in here for now until it gets bigger. Much bigger, I'm sure. Of course, the Oscar's looking for attention. Now, I was never crazy about albino Oscars, but the wife picked these two up, and I gotta say, these are two of the nicest ones I've had, and I've had a couple. I wasn't crazy about them. These two are really nice. We got the typical catfish down bottom doing their munchins. Which brings us over to two more fish Jeff brought over. Two angelfish. I've got two rainbow sharks. My cousin brought over his angelfish, which is a little banged up. He's going to be alright in here. He's been cleaning up the snails, which we've had some snails. Brings us over to Mrs. Bristle-nosed albino pleco, which I'm loving the growth rate on them. They don't grow very fast at all. One of the rainbow sharks coming on out to say hello. Snails. And brings us over to the big tank. I put in a new filter because one of the filters went in one of the other tanks and I needed to get something in there, so I swapped the one that was in here over into the tank with the flower horn. And I put this one together from just a submersible pump and a pop bottle with some floating media in there, doing some collecting. Just threw the gravel in mainly to do a little filtering, which I'm glad it settled, because when it was floating it was kind of making a mess. I forgot that a lot of this gravel, when it gets churned up a lot, tends to have a little dye to it, and even after it's been in for years, it can still cause a dyeing in the tank. But this pump is working amazing. It's made the water look great. Again, it is a little dark in here tonight. And back here would be the channel catfish, which somebody brought over a while back, bought right away, and then didn't have a tank to put him in. So I've been growing him for a while. Now, he was fine in here with the Oscar. It was tight in here. But when he found that he had a spot in here, him and quite often the African clawed frog tends to come back and hang out back there. Big fella. He loves his tank. Looking forward to getting a 100-gallon plus, which I'm sure he will be loving. Come on over and say hi, big guy. Ever since I put the new pump in there too, it's got a heavier flow and tends to give a better current, and he's been around a lot more, floating around, doing some swimming. brings us over to the flower horn. She's got a sore on his lip because he keeps picking at that Placo. I don't know if there's really any fish I can put in there with him that he ain't just gonna poke at. As you can see, he's quite cranky. Love him though, great looking fish. Showing off for the camera. Can't help but keep it on him. He's showing off so much. I just don't want him to start picking at the Placo, because that's usually one of the first things he's doing when anyone comes around. He just starts poking at him. Now the lighting died in this tank down here. Can't really see, sadly. I can't just switch on to flash, but there's a few red jewel babies in there. That's where I stored most of them. And I just realized I'm running out of time. Brings us down to the bumblebee tank, which I also got a fella in here that likes to hide all the time. Of course, it's so dark I can't see. I'm not sure. Again, a friend of mine just brought him over. They know I'm really into the cichlids. Try to get a little light into there. Can't really see him. I'm not sure what kind of cichlid it is. It looks like a cross from a jack and something else. I can't be sure myself, but I've been trying to find out. He wasn't even sure. He just said it was some type of cichlid. Oh, and my son just came down to say good evening. So we're going to call it good night, and YouTube, have yourself a great night.